Action.
Okay.
Your life.
Okay, all right. Hello there. I am Tititope James. I'm your host for today's podcast titled If I Can, You Can. I have with me our guest for today, Mr. Uthman Olubodun. He's a chartered accountant and chartered stockbroker. Mr. Olubodun has almost a decade experience in litigation, in investment banking, in accounting, and also in lecturing. He's currently a lecturer at Custom Associates. Um, Please make welcome Mr. Olubodun. You're
Thank you
welcome,
very
Mr.
much.
Olubodun.
Thank you.
Okay, it's a pleasure having you here today. So can you tell us briefly about your journey to becoming a chartered accountant, especially at your time, 2010 to 2015? So how was it like? Because it's very different from what we have now.
Mm, the journey wasn't that smooth um, because personally, one of my own challenges is finance. Because then I wasn't working, I had to combine being a chartered accountant with academics. So I was in
Mm,
school and at the same time I was doing ICAN. So to help myself, I need to work. So it was very tough. You go to school, you go to work, you do
go to
ICAN,
work
and
and
so finance
prepare for
generally
exams.
is a big distraction for me. So it wasn't that easy.
Wow.
But because of my own strong conviction, I've always had that determination to become a chartered accountant. So I was able to weather the storm.
Okay, why accounting? Not anything else? Why accounting?
Mm, I think the attraction for me is actually because accounting is more of a calculation course than theory, and I love calculations generally. So I think that's one of the reasons. And the fact that accounting as a profession, is one of the most respected um,
Mm.
vocation in the world. So I think that's the attraction.
Wow. Okay. So let me take you back a little bit to our first question, the question I asked earlier about how your experience was becoming a chartered accountant, right? In your time, 2010, was it the fail one, fail all? Because that's not what we
No,
have
no,
now.
no.
Okay,
It's
so
the
it's the
it's the
same
credit
way it is now.
system.
How did
No,
that work?
it's just the credit system. They've started the credit system then. So it's just
Okay,
that
that's the system we have
I
now.
experienced some little change of syllables and everything, and I was able to adjust.
Wow. So were you stainless while you were writing your exam, or you failed? You had your own failure experiences while writing your ICAN exams.
I actually started ICAN from 8 years, 8 years
Okay.
level. So at the 8 years level, the the course that really challenged me the most was communication skills. That was 8 years one because
Okay.
I seems to overlook it because then the syllabus was very small. So I was
Okay. Like
like,
it's just
this
English
one
now. There's
is
nothing
is
there.
walkover.
Okay.
Unfortunately for us, for me, I
Okay.
didn't go to a private school where we were taught the basis of English language. So that course really helped me
Mm.
to become a better speaker of English language. So,
That's after failing.
I went to a public school at Utasholo, so our spoken English was not that okay. So I was exposed by com skills.
Mm.
But later we struggled and we managed to
Okay.
pass. So that really challenged me, that com skill at the 8 years level.
So is it that you failed it the first time, or was that is that you failed it the first time, and if yes, was that the only paper you failed, like while writing your ICAN exam?
Yes, when I
That was
started
the only
from
one
8
you
years,
failed.
I wrote com skills 2-3 times.
Okay.
So
Wow.
that really gave me a challenge. So I was for the other papers, I just passed the other level. So
Okay. So
getting com skills really toughened me up. Like God, don't ever underrate any
I read
paper.
any course.
Don't ever
Wow.
overlook any paper. So that really gave me a kind of lesson that
Mm,
all the courses in ICAN exam, they are very tough. Don't overlook anyone.
wow. So after that, you had a smooth experience. Like you were stainless from then.
Yeah. No, after then,
Wow.
at the professional level, I I failed SFN once.
Did you underrate
And I
that
wrote
one
it
too?
again.
Is
I passed. Then which other
it
course?
because you underrated that?
Not really. Then, at the professional level, I was in school. So you
Okay.
have to manage your GP to make sure that you don't fall below a
Yeah.
certain level. So all those clash of school exam with ICAN exam, then the fact that the finances is not there. You have to. I was always distracted with this issue of getting to
Business.
find money. Okay, how do I write this diet? Where is the money? So that one is always a big distraction. Sometimes I won't even read because I'll feel like this diet is not sure because the people that I wanted to help or the sources I was expecting to get money from were not
You're hearing
forthcoming.
story that thought
So suddenly, miracle will just happen and the money will come. So I'll start struggling within
to
the
prepare.
shortest possible time. So for me, finances is one of the major issues, one of the major distractions I faced while doing ICAN.
Okay. So how were you able to manage? Because you I just mentioned it that you were working, you were also in school, and then you were studying for ICAN. How were you able to manage your time? Because I think a lot of people find themselves in that particular situation where they don't have all the support and they have to like provide the finance for themselves, and most of them just give up in the end because they don't have the finance, and then they are failing the exams too much. But how were you able to manage your time and manage your mind and your energy as well during that period?
Yeah, just like I said, if you have a very strong conviction about something, if you really want to do something,
Mm-hmm.
focus is very key. You have to be very focused,
Focus. Keyword
irrespective
focus.
of the challenges. Then, I was doing accounting in school, and I'm
Okay.
doing ICAN, and I'm working.
Mm-hmm.
Though the nature of the job is not that stressful, it's more or less like an
Mm.
office um,
Job.
job,
Like an account officer kind of work.
exactly where you just have to sit down. Sometimes, I work with brick wall communications.
Okay.
So activity is not that much, except if we have projects we are working on. Maybe we have documentary or we have films that we are working on. So most times when I go to the office, my mates are in school. I'm working.
Mm-hmm.
So what I do is to get the timetable from my friends. And luckily for me, ICANN is far more robust than the school syllabus.
Of course, yes.
So most of the topics we are doing in school, most of them will have done them already in ICANN. So once I see the topics, I just carry my ICANN book. I'll just do revision.
Revise.
Even when I get to school, I'll start doing um, tutorial classes for my colleagues that have been in school for long
Mm.
because I'm leveraging on my ICANN syllabus, my
Knowledge.
ICANN textbooks to prepare for school.
Mm.
So that's how I was able to manage the three. So when it is about a month to exam or 3 weeks, I will resume back to school. So that's how I was able
Okay.
to navigate
Manage your
between
time.
school, ICANN, and work.
Okay, so the keyword there is focus, regardless of whatever
Regardless of any
circumstance a
situation,
person
once
may
you have
have,
the determination,
you just have to focus.
exactly, just look at your destination. Forget about the
And then
challenges.
everything begins to
Forget
align.
about the distractions. A lack of finance, they are like challenges, they are like distraction towards me getting to the final
Mm-hmm.
destination of being an ACA. So I was not deterred because I know that this is what I really want to do. So I was determined, I was
Mm-hmm.
focused.
but we're going to do it. Okay, so what would you call your secret technique to passing your ICAN exams that time? Was there any special technique you adopted to like study
And one of
faster,
the
solve past questions?
one of the technique I adopted is jotting. I like to jot. You know, that ICAN material can be very scary. You know, the size is very big.
Exactly. Discourage a
So
lot of people from memory.
exactly, it contains a lot of information. So you understand. So what I do is,
Yeah.
as I read, I jot down the salient points. I
Okay.
jot down the salient points. So when the exam is very close, once I finish reading the textbook, my daughter becomes my textbook. So I don't need
So
to
you
go
just
back to that
revise
big
that.
textbook again. So it will be, so the information will be what? Summarized. So it will be very easy for me to what? To do my revision. Even sometimes you go to the center. On the day of exam, you get to the center as early as possible and you start flipping through the jotter. So
Note.
one of the techniques is I jot down salient points from the big textbooks.
Mm.
Then another technique is
So it makes it
I
easy
read
for you
at
to
every
revise.
slight opportunity. For every slight opportunity, I
Okay.
read. In the mosque, I go to the mosque for my
And you carry your
Maghrib
book
and Isha prayer. I'm a
during.
Muslim. So whenever
Okay.
I go for my prayers, instead of me going back home, I'll just sit down in the mosque.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be reading. So I take advantage of every
Yeah.
opportunity to read my book. I don't have any
So you
special
actually
location.
read.
Maybe library, maybe I don't have. It could be in the mosque. Then I like doing a lot of overnight reading. It helps me a lot
Okay.
because I'm easily distracted, especially when I'm in the midst of people. So I don't read close to a friend
Okay.
or somebody I know. Because at the end
Okay.
of the
So you
day, I
like
won't
that
achieve anything.
quietness.
Exactly. I like
Mm.
staying in an isolated place, alone. Then I'll tell myself, okay,
Just you
this
and your
reading,
book,
I want to
enjoying
read for
life.
2 hours. After 2 hours, that's the
Okay.
end. So I like reading in an isolated place. So that's why I like overnight
Mm.
reading. I'll read from maybe
Okay.
12 a.m. to
So
2.
okay. So what would you say to those whose only free time is when they are in transit? For example, they have to wake up early to get to work, and okay, let's talk about those who are working now and writing the exam. So they have to wake up early to get to work to avoid traffic. They get to the office, work starts immediately, and then after that they only have maybe 1 hour for break, which they don't mostly don't take. And then the only time that they have is when they are going back home again in the night, late in the night, because they have one report to submit. So how would you encourage someone like that whose only time is in traffic, in transit?
Just like I said
So what would you tell someone like
before,
that?
just like I said before, that once you have strong conviction about something, once you have that determination to achieve something, there shouldn't be any form of distraction. There shouldn't be any form of challenges that you cannot overcome.
Okay.
If you know you are the type that you wake up early to go to work, you know, there must always be a free time for you all through the week. Like me now in the office, Monday morning is always very busy. You know, we try to achieve some report and everything. As
Mm-hmm.
some other days are free. So why not design a timetable and follow the timetable strictly? Be disciplined about it.
Mm.
Have your own timetable. Even if it
Discipline
is
is
1 hour
key.
per day, at least you must have minimum time that you read per day,
Mm-hmm.
irrespective of the what circumstances. Minimum 1 hour. I must read 1 hour per day. Minimum. And it will help you a lot. And anytime you have extra time, increase the number of time that you prepare. Then when you are doing ICAN, me personally, a month to exam, I cut all forms of social activities. A month to my exam, all forms of
Doing social media.
Oh, wow,
Because that's like the biggest
social
distraction that
media,
people have.
thinking. In fact, those periods I don't have data on my phone. Intentionally, I won't buy data.
Okay.
And there is no party that you will invite me to. I won't go.
Never come.
EPL, I like football a lot. No more. I only check the results. I don't watch again. A month to exam. Then
Because
I make sure I optimize my weekends. If I have been distracted by work during the week, my weekend, you can't take it away from me. Sometimes I will go to my secondary school. I think from Soya Grammar School. It's not too far from where I stay. So I will go to my secondary school.
That environment.
The gate men, I'll just tip them that, Baba, I want to come and read here. So I will stay in that place from morning till 4 p.m.
Wow.
I will
so you
read.
Have enough time alone.
I'm telling
studying,
you, all those,
no distraction.
Exactly, all those periods I've missed during the week, I'll make sure I cover them up during the weekend. So there is no excuse to failure. There is no excuse. You must always find a way around it.
Yeah, I think I'm going to agree with you on that, because I also, when I was preparing for my ICAN exam, I was teaching 8 subjects in secondary school. I was doing NYSC actually, so they wanted to kill me with work, but I had 4 big papers to write. That's my finals, and I had to encourage myself, wake up at night. I'm not a night person, but then I had to do that because I wanted to just pass the exam.
Exactly.
I was happy myself about the results. It was worth it. Because it's still better than, like, suffering yourself in quotes is better than regret of not putting in your best. Not putting in
and once you don't pass on time,
money.
Once you don't pass this exam on time, you'll be wasting money, you'll be distracted. And God forbid, if somebody should quit. I have a friend that struggled to pass. At a point, he wanted to quit. I said, Oga, if you should quit this your dream, you are going to regret for the rest of your life.
Exactly.
Do you know why? I told him that one day I'll become an FCA. I will celebrate it. Okay, FCA. You see me celebrate being an FCA. You will remember that as I started this thing too, I stopped. So you always
had a chance to becoming an FCA as well, but you couldn't.
You couldn't. So there is no going back. So before you start, don't do it because others are doing it. Yes, my friend has started ICAN. Let me go and start. Ask yourself, do you really have the interest? Are you ready to pay the price? So once you have the interest first, you'll be ready to go extra mile to achieve it.
That's more like the emotional readiness, the mental readiness before you now begin
the psychological
make up your plans.
Like me now, but just like I said before, it's very key. Just like I said before, that mentally I was ready, psychologically I was ready, but financially,
just finances,
it was not there. But because of my mental strength and psychological strength, I was able to weather the financial shortcomings. Sometimes you have to beg your brother, beg this one, beg friends. Baba now, help me. In the meantime, 10K for this money to complete, In fact, there was a time I almost had issue with my school. Because the system in my school there was that they will open the portal for 2 weeks. So the school fees you pay, they will now generate a PIN for you with the school fees. You now register all the courses you are going to do for that semester. I now use the money meant for my school fees. I used to register for ICAN. Thinking somebody made a promise. Somebody said he will give me money. So I was like, okay, that promise made by that person.
Money is going to come.
It's going to come. I'll use it to pay for my school fees. To my surprise, the money wasn't coming. And I have those 2 days to register. And the system there was that if you don't register, you have automatic carryover. Your GDP will be destroyed. So, but help came from above. I was able to. So I won't say much about that one because it's more like a miracle. So I was able to at the end of the day.
So for those who are having financial issues, they should always keep the faith. They should be physically, mentally ready, emotionally ready, and keep their faith intact that the finance is going to come.
Get something doing.
They are really focused.
Exactly. Get something doing. If you have money that is not enough, you can always tax your friends, tax your family members,
And they will know you are ready because you have saved some of the money yourself.
Exactly. Finance is my own major challenge,
That was back then, not anymore. Okay,
Uh,
so how has
focus on
been
the glory.
okay, so how has being a chartered accountant helped you in your career and as an individual? So how has ICAN helped you
Wow.
personally and in your career?
ICANN has helped me tremendously, I must confess to you. It has really helped in terms
Okay.
of career growth, in terms of career progression. I've benefited a lot. In fact, all the money I spent in passing the exam, I made it within 2 or 3 months. So you can see that it's worth the
Wow.
sacrifice. It's worth the sacrifice.
Yes, yes, yes.
Though it comes with some challenges too, because to whom much is given, much is expected. As a chartered
Expected.
accountant, people won't believe you know everything.
Yes, they
Chartered
expect you to
accountant
just
does
have all
not
the answers.
exactly. So they believe you have all the answers to all the problems in this world.
Mm-hmm.
Not forgetting that you are just an accountant, a chartered accountant. You are not a
Mm-hmm.
scientist. You are not. So
Exactly. I don't
so
have
the
all the
challenge is
experiences
that
yet.
people always. So you have to be on top of your game as a chartered accountant till you die. You have to keep reading so that you keep
Mhm.
living up to that expectation, that standard. But in terms of
Okay.
career progression, it has really helped. In terms of
Mm-hmm.
individual, because if not for ICANN, I won't be able to be a lecturer.
Mm-hmm.
It was even ICANN I used to leverage to
Mm-hmm.
get my CIS. Because
Honest.
if you want to write CIS
Mm-hmm.
exam and you have ICANN, they will exempt you for all the level one. So you are going to write just the
Okay.
final level. So I use my ICANN to
Mm-hmm.
leverage on that one too. So
Okay.
ICANN has really helped. So the benefit is invaluable.
Okay. So, and in many ways, it has boosted your confidence to go for other certification exams like the
Exactly,
CIS you talked
exactly,
about.
exactly, exactly. The way I really prepared for ICANN, I don't think I'll prepare for any other exam like that because ICANN has given me a very strong footing. You know, basically, in any exam you want to do now, there
Mm-hmm.
is always a portion of ICANN that is there. There is always a portion that
Okay.
you have done before. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you know. For example, now when I was going through CFA syllabus, and I discovered that the accounting part is just like a write-off. I was like, I've done this thing before in ICANN. Even all this SFM, all these finance, the financial aspect has also been
Okay.
taken care of.
So
So
how would
that
it?
residual knowledge will really help me going for any other
Yes,
professional
always.
course.
Mm. Okay, so how has ICANN helped you in your finances personally? Like, do you think the courses or the subjects in ICANN are practical enough? Like, are they realistic? There's a lot of issues that people have with the educational system in Nigeria, that the courses they teach are not practical, they're not realistic. So is there that issue as well in ICANN, or can you say that all the subjects in ICANN are realistic, they are practical, they're what you see in real life situations, or they can be practiced in real life situations?
Yes, all the courses in ICANN are practical. They are things that really help you with your day-to-day activities. I am an investment person, and a whole lot of what I learned in ICANN has really helped me. Now I do investment in treasury bills, government bond,
Mm.
money markets, commercial papers, etc. All these things I've done them in ICANN. So it's like bringing theory to practical. Then if you look at the accounting aspect too, IFRS, these
Mm-hmm.
are things that in fact, sometimes we go to work with our ICANN textbook. If you have issues, and you be
Just
like,
check it
okay,
up.
how do I treat this accounting transaction? You quickly go through your IFRS textbook or your ICANN material. So it has been
Yes,
very helpful. So all those things we read that time, they are still as practicable as possible.
as
So
practical.
is so a whole lot of that knowledge is helping us in our daily lives as,
Mm.
as a professional. So they are
So that,
highly
that means
practicable.
Okay, so does that mean you are saying that the ICANN study pack on its own is easy to understand? Because I think a lot of people feel like they have to get other resource materials to prepare for an ICANN exam. because maybe they're not understanding what's in the study pack, or it's too complex. So what would you say about the complexity or the ease of understanding a study pack?
Yet, in all fairness to you, when it comes to theoretical aspects, the ICAN study pack is okay.
Okay.
It takes care of all the theoretical aspect of each courses in the syllabus. But for the calculation aspect, I don't think you should rely on that ICAN material. So for you to do well, for you to pass in the end of the exam, you have to combine other textbooks that have a lot of questions that you can solve.
A lot of practice questions, because the one in the
Exactly, a lot
ICAN
of
pack is
practice
not
questions
so complex
because
as what
then
they will bring out in the exam.
the exam. So, but theoretically, 100%. But in terms of practice question, you need other material. So that's why some people will solve past questions. They will solve as many past questions as possible. They will get additional textbook. They will go and take ACCA materials and everything. So that's my view on that.
Okay, so if you had to go back to start ICAN all over again, what would you do differently? Or what is that thing you've learned that you feel like if you had that knowledge as at that time, you would have maybe finished earlier, or not failed the course that you failed, or had a better approach to make your studying easier?
If I had to go back, just like I told you that finance was my major obstacle. If I had the opportunity to go back and somebody is ready to finance me, what I would do differently is to go for lectures. Because then, because of the financial obstacle, what we do is to juggle around ICAN tutorial centers. God forgive us. Once you receive lecture to a certain level, they will send you away. So that small knowledge, you build on it. Yes, that's the truth. So those small knowledge, those things, maybe you receive free lecture for about 20% of the syllabus, just 20%. Madam, you go and build upon it. No money for lecture. So you go and read on your own. So if I have an opportunity to go back, I think that aspect will be taken care of. I will go for quality lecture. I'll go for
So you're saying lecturing is going for lecture is worth it regardless of the price?
Like this ICAN Online 2009 is a very good platform, honestly. Do you know why I say it's a good platform? Is that even some tutorial centers don't help you in passing your exam. Do you know what I mean by that? It's not as if they are not qualified. But some of them will teach you up to the point that you don't even have time to prepare again. Imagine a center asking you to come a week to exam. They are still saying, come for lecture, come for lecture. A week to exam.
Yes, exactly.
And most students are very lazy. Most students are very lazy. They don't read until they end their tutorials.
Yes.
You understand? So most tutorial centers don't help in that regard. The best way is, if you are teaching students, make sure you end the syllabus at least a month to exam, random syllabus, so that the student can have enough time to go and do their revision.
To revise and ask questions.
So like this platform now, this ICAN Online platform, it gives you an opportunity to learn from your comfort zone. You don't need to leave your own.
COVID, you don't have to expose yourself as well.
You need to expose yourself.
And it's also cost effective.
It's cost effective. You don't need to stress yourself moving. Do you know that some people will come from other states to come and receive lecture in Lagos? Yes. I've seen people coming from Ogun State, coming from Abuja, coming from because they want to come and receive quality lecture somewhere in Lagos. Look at the stress. All those time you spend in traffic, going and coming, and the cost. All those time you spend in traffic, you can just sit down at the corner of your house, read. So with a platform like ICAN Online, I think I would have done better if this opportunity was available. Even without COVID, an online tutorial base is more efficient and cost effective.
Okay, but then, so what would you say to those who find online courses like this distracting? I mean, a lot of people use their phones for the online lectures, for instance, and then their WhatsApp notification just pops up one or two times, or then they don't, there's nobody checking them whether they are following the class or not. So they can be in the class and actually not be in the class. They can be doing something else while they believe that they are listening to the class. So what would you say about that particular limitation where you can't really control people apart from muting them, for instance? That's the only control that you seem to have over a
Yeah,
student. So how do you
just
control their
like
attention, their focus?
just like I've said before, that whatever you want to achieve in life, you must have a strong conviction for it.
Mm-hmm.
You must be disciplined. I told you earlier that I have obstacles, but I was
Yeah,
not deterred, I was not discouraged because I know where I'm going to.
where we're going.
Do you understand?
Yes.
You can always manage those distractions. Just like I tell
Okay.
you that a month to exam, I cut myself off from all forms of social interaction. No more party, no more English Premiership, no more football, no more
Mm-hmm.
unnecessary.
No
In
more
fact, you won't even
WhatsApp,
see me. No more
no
WhatsApp,
more
no more
movie,
Facebooking,
Netflix.
no more Instagram, no more film.
Okay.
I'm telling you. In fact,
Mm,
I don't have, you won't even see data on my phone until after the exam. Another good
okay.
opportunity is that, like a platform like ICAN online now give you opportunity to rewatch the video because they are all
Yes,
recorded.
on the YouTube
Everything
channel.
is recorded. So you can rewatch it again on the YouTube channel. In fact, you can even pay the administrators. They can send the recorded versions to you. So everything you missed
Versions
or
to you,
why
so
the
you can
class was
always
going
go
on,
back.
you can always go back and view it again. So to me, is a win-win situation. It's very good. It's the best. It's better than
It's
physical
cost
class.
effective, it's convenient,
Exactly.
and then
But some people,
they get to have
our
good
culture,
teachers as well.
our culture in Africa is what is actually affecting us. IT is just taking its footing in our cultural lives. So most of us are not used to all these online. So some people will say
Mm-hmm.
I prefer physical class because
Exactly,
we don't
online
adopt, we
things,
don't embrace change
so
like
much to
that.
social media.
Exactly. So we don't embrace change like
Mm,
that in Africa. It's
mm,
very difficult to convince somebody to accept a new way of doing things. So I believe
exactly.
with time,
Things are already changing actually.
exactly. So with time, this I can online thing, online learning will be the new normal in our environment.
Mm.
So it's a gradual
Okay,
process.
oh, thank you very much for that. So do you have any word for those who are considering ICAN exams? Yeah, those who are about to start their ATS, for instance. Any word for them?
Yeah. My word of advice for them is whatever you want to do in life, you must have a strong conviction, a strong reason. You must be
Conviction.
passionate.
I think
You must
that's your
be
key word, strong conviction.
exactly. You must be passionate about
Okay.
your dream. Don't do I can because
Mm,
others are doing it. Titilayo
okay.
James is a chartered accountant. Me too, I want to be chartered like her. It's because
Mm-hmm.
she has I can. That's why she used to talk the way she talks. That's
Okay.
not a
So I
good
want to
reason.
talk like that.
That's exactly. I want to talk like her. I want to challenge her. That's not a good reason to do I can.
Mm-hmm. Mm,
You do I can for career purpose.
mm-hmm.
Do you really want to practice accounting? Do you really have the passion? Do you really have the interest? When I
Because that's
started
what will keep you
ICAN,
going.
I had no money, like I said, and I started from 8 years. I started from 8 years because I was expecting my JAM result. I was like, instead of waiting for JAM, why not do this thing? They said if I start with my O level, 8 years, as I progress, I will progress to the professional level. And I started. I started ICAN in a particular year. The following year, I was admitted into the university. I was admitted into the
Yeah.
university a year after I started ICAN. And I didn't
Mm,
stop. So I was doing the two
continue.
together. I
So
was
there's
doing
no
the two
excuse.
together. No excuse. I was doing the two. In fact, I had one Igbo friend that was telling me, Olubodun, you're a fool. I say, how? Why did you waste money? Why are you wasting your money? With your BSc accounting, you start from the professional level. I say, oh God, what you
Mm,
concern you? You too like money, Igbo
mm.
people.
Exactly.
I said, I've started this thing, I have to end it. So I was not even, I don't care about the money. So I was just interested in the final destination.
Where you were going.
ATS, exactly. So ATS gave me a lot of background knowledge, that really helped me.
There's a lot of solid
Exactly.
understanding that goes
And
on under
statistics has
the
even shown that those that started ICAN from ATS have a higher pass rate than those that comes in with their BXC. Because
and they are more exposed, even in real life situations as well.
Exactly. The ATS exam is highly quality, highly standard. In fact, some courses in the ATS level is as standard as the one in the professional level. For example, this course, this public sector accounting, is almost the same thing with the one in professional. Even your tax is almost the same thing.
Yes, exactly. There's no much difference.
I'm telling you, no much difference with some of those exams in the ATS level and the professional level. So my strong advice to whoever is coming to do ICAN is search your mind. Don't follow the bandwagon. I'm doing ICAN because my friend is doing it. Now, do you really have the passion like the way your friend has it? So
for the accounting profession, because that's what will keep them going.
It will keep so that.
And then I think softly as well. Yeah. Okay.
You said?
I'm with you. No, I'm with you. You were saying something.
Okay. I said, no, I'm trying to corroborate what you said, that it will keep you going. That if there is any obstacle,
situation,
if you find yourself in a difficult situation, you're able to manage it. Not that you do it because your friend is doing it and the interest is not strong, the passion is not strong. So for every little challenge you complain, or more like it's like I'll stop this thing. It's like I don't want to continue.
I just want to give up.
Exactly. You give up easily because you don't have the passion. You don't have the strong conviction for it. So whatever you want to do in life, do it because you have the interest, you have the passion, not because others are doing it. So that's my advice for those. So that's my little advice for those that want to join the profession.
And I think low-key, you're also advising them to start from ATS so they get to have a solid understanding of the accounting industry, finance, and also making it easier for them to scale the professional. Because I think a lot of people have issues at that professional level due to this lack of background knowledge that they didn't get in school. And for some, a lot of us that didn't get that knowledge, I mean, we had to go back to study what we missed. And it felt like an advantage at a point, but then it's really not an advantage. Just best to start from the scratch, because you just keep on building foundationally. Okay, so before I let you go, do you have any word for those who are discouraged? Maybe they failed a lot, they failed like 5 times, one paper like 5 times, and then with this whole COVID, with the financial depression, emotional depression that a lot of people are going through at this particular moment. So do you have any word for them?
My word, it's not really easy, the environment is very challenging. You understand? But for those who have failed severally, there is a saying that quitters don't win and winners don't quit.
Don't quit.
You have to keep trying. Now you have to re-strategize. You have to replan. What are those things that you were doing before that you were not doing right? Now you have an opportunity. The exam is very flexible. Maybe you were failing because you were combining too many papers. You were writing 3 papers at the same time or 4 papers. Reduce it to 1 or 2 so that you can read very well. Exactly, I just passed them. So my advice to them is the exam is very flexible. They should plan their financials. And they should have it at the back of their mind that as I'm writing this exam, I want to pass. Because the earlier you pass, the cheaper the cost. As you keep failing, you are incurring more costs.
And more discouragement. You are earning more discouragement.
I'm telling you. So re-strategize. Then communicate with your friends that have done it before and they have passed. In whatever ways they can help you, they will help you. Don't be isolated. Don't be discouraged. So keep trying. If it is one paper per diet, stick to it. Stick to one paper. And make
Just
sure you
put your
read
mind towards
and put
succeeding in
your
that
mind towards
particular
it.
exam.
Exactly. So that's my
Instead of doing
little.
a lot and failing a lot. just
Exactly.
just
And the more you
strategize your
fail, the more
energy.
cost for you. The more
Yes,
distracted, the more disappointed, the more frustrated you become. So
yeah.
re-strategize. You can say, okay, in a
Okay.
year, I want to be writing 2 papers.
And
You are
then
not
stick to
competing.
it, do your best.
You are not in competition with anybody.
Body,
If
yes.
you qualify, that's the day you forget all the stress you've gone through.
Exactly. And last you qualify.
You
That's the
qualify.
goal now. It doesn't matter who
Exactly.
qualifies first, we shall qualify.
So the
Because
best
nobody will
thing
ask
is
you how did you
exactly
qualify, just you
how
are
many years you've
qualified.
been writing it. You are now a
Exactly, just like you
professional.
qualified. Yeah.
Exactly. Nobody will know what I went through. They will not know that guy is a chartered accountant.
So
So
basically there's
quitting
no
is not
pressure.
exactly. Quitting is not an option because if you quit, you live with the pain for the rest of your life. So just
And you lose all your
re-strategize.
investment. So what's the point?
Exactly. So re-strategize. Write fewer papers. You are not in competition with anybody. The fact that somebody, your friend
Nobody just
qualified
wants
10
to
years
get it go.
ago and you qualify now doesn't mean anything. The fact is, you are both ACAs, you are both chartered accountants.
Exactly, yeah. You are both inducted and
And
qualified.
there is no GP.
That's all that
There is no
matters.
GP to the institute in the
Exactly.
exam.
They said
They are
that
not like somebody telling the
4.91,
first class.
4.5. Second
Exactly.
class
They are
accountant, third
all
class
professional
accountant.
colleagues. Exactly. We are all
Exactly.
professional colleagues.
So finally, what would you say is the future of accounting? Why should people study accounting now? Because a lot of people will say accounting is changing. For example, with things like cryptocurrency, blockchain accounting coming in. What do you think? What do you think is the future of accounting, and how do you think people should approach studying accounting at this particular moment? What do you think their lifestyle as an accountant should be? Should it be following what's happening in Bloomberg, for instance? What do you think their lifestyle should be? What do you think the future of accounting is, and how can students and even accountants prepare for that future?
Yeah, the future accounting is basically moving towards the direction of information technology. And that's the area I want the institute to look into.
Okay.
Professionals that have been turned now don't have strong footing in IT. A lot of
Especially accounting software, they
exactly,
have
a
to
lot of
learn
software
them
can
externally.
do what you can do. So we have to really embrace it. In addition to being a chartered accountant, go for advanced IT courses that
Like,
will enhance your knowledge of the professional, like data analytics. A lot of good courses
yes.
are there, that will
And even
really
MS Word, MS Excel, a lot of people are not exploring that because that's
exploring
like a
it
major tool
for the
that
accountants.
we use in accounting.
So people
Yes.
should embrace IT. That's the future of accounting now, so that you can even solve accounting issues remotely. You can be in your house and solve issues for organizations. So that area is
Exactly.
what
And
I
there's
really. So that's the
yes,
area
and
really
I've heard of so many advise people to work on, right?
exactly. So people should embrace IT. So once you qualify, it's not the end. Don't just go and sleep there. I'm not a chartered accountant. No.
Exactly. You have to keep working on
Exactly. You
yourself.
have to keep working on
Keep
yourself, go for IT courses, develop yourself, read more. And don't see yourself as just an accountant.
and more than that, an
You are
advisor,
more than that. You are a
a
financial
consultant,
advisory, a
a
consultant.
consultant.
So people should be looking at the entrepreneurship aspect of a profession.
Yeah.
Don't say
Because not everybody can do that finance part. So businesses are
exactly
looking for accountants. I mean, when
accountants.
people say that there are no jobs, I think there's jobs for there are a lot of jobs for accountants. Just that there are very few qualified, not qualified in terms of certifications now, but like qualified in terms of skills. Can they use MS Word? Can they
Exactly.
use accounting software? Can they advise
Software.
their bosses on
Exactly.
financial issues, on tax matters? I mean, all those
All
exposures
those
and ability
exactly.
to think critically.
Even in the institute, we have faculties. We have the IT faculties. We have the audit and investigation. We have the financial, finance, so all these faculty like IT, the IT faculty to me has been very, very silent. You don't get to see a lot of people in that faculty. For example, now um, if I have money now, I want to go and do some good IT courses so that I can write accounting software, tailor-made accounting software for organizations.
For organizations. Wow, I think that's a
So you write
necessary
software, you design a software that will suit an accounting software that will suit the operation, the nature of a particular. So that's an area people should look into. They should look into the area of IT.
IT. Taking into IT, not just a
Exactly.
paper accountant.
Just not about
Thank you
chartered,
very
not about
much.
slave. All right, you're welcome.
Exactly. Thank you very much, Mr. Olubodun, for such an insightful session. I learned a lot about not giving up. And then your keyword was having a strong conviction about whatever you want to do, being focused about that, and then also being a very good strategist. So I'm sure a lot of us have learned that as well. So for those of you who are just listening to us for the first time, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, ICAN Online Tutors, and then follow us on Anchor as well.
Thank
For
you
more
very much,
insight on how to pass your ICAN examination. Thank you very much, Mr. Olubodun. Do have a nice night.
And you too. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye.